If your app's losing 70% of its users during onboarding, don't panic. Today, I'm going to give you my emergency toolkit for fixing a broken onboarding flow. These are the same tactics I've used in the past in my previous role, and they have kind of helped me boost the completion rate in just 2 weeks. You're watching Behind the Feature, where we get straight to solving product puzzles with tips that you can actually use. So, let's just jump right in. The first is, let's first figure out the 3 most common onboarding killers. The first one, the Great Wall, asking too much information upfront. Just imagine LinkedIn suddenly asks you to do a full profile setup, asks you your education, your work history, your profile photo before even letting you explore. Or any fitness app requires you to do an extensive setup of a fitness profile, your preferences, even before the first run tracking. Or the other set of dating apps. They ask you for a detailed bio, photographs, numerous preference settings before even allowing you to see the kind of matches. The second, the ghost experience. Not showing value before demanding commitment. It's extremely common with newspapers and media apps. They kind of show you the headlines, but then demand login or subscription before any article access. Or a meditation app. Very limited preview of features and then pushes you for subscription immediately without even demonstrating why. Why are you asking me for this? And finally, the third, the maze. Confusing users with too many possible steps. Any super app, for example, multiple rows, categories, lists, recommendations, creating an absolute choice paralysis. Extremely common today when we have, so many apps. So, what do you do in this case? So, I'm going to actually share a quick diagnosis framework. Before we jump into solution, it's very important to diagnose where your onboarding is actually failing. Let's pull up your analytics and look for these 3 metrics. The first, time to first value. How long it actually takes until users experience your core benefit, your core product feature. Break down each step in your journey that is leading to the aha moment. Identify any unnecessary steps or friction points before the actual value delivery. The second, drop-off points. Which specific screens lose the most users? Map out every screen in your onboarding flow. Identify screens where the user abandonment rate is anything about 20%. And finally, analyze the user behavior patterns just before drop-offs. Review session recordings of users who have abandoned this, or tag common user behaviors or confusion points. In the episode where I sat down with the Chief Digital Officer of Aditya Birla Health Insurance, he actually shared, I'm sharing the link above, the technique where they use an eyeballing technique to actually, to put out the heat map and to see where the users are actually struggling in their app journey. And that kind of helped them improve their journey. The third, the completion rate. How long does the entire process take? Calculate average, median, and 90th percentile completion times. Segment completion times by user demographics and devices. Identify steps that take longer than 30 seconds to complete. It's also important to note any platform-specific completion time variations versus an Android and an iOS. So, I'm going to actually give you now my quick fixes ranked by impact and effort. The first, these are low-hanging fruits, almost a 24-hour fix. Remove all non-essential form fields. I have realized this is so important in a recent campaign I ran. Add progress indicators and please make skip option visible for optional steps. There's no point hiding it and making it hard. The second, this is a medium-term fix. Kind of put placeholder data for immediate product exploration. I'll give you an example. If you're a banking app, kind of pre-fill some of the data points like the transactions, spending patterns to give me an idea. Or if you're a project management app, load template projects with sample tasks, deadlines, kind of things. My personal favorite is Canva. They kind of give you pre-populated templates to get you started and also give you an option to just start from a blank page. So it depends on whatever is easy. The next is add social proof at high drop-off points. For example, in the payment page, join 50,000 users who securely manage their finances with us. Or show mini testimonials, right? This feature helped me save 5 hours per week. And it's an actual testimonial, please don't fake this. Or if it's a complex feature, add a small tooltip like 92% of the users found this useful for their team collaboration. Or this was used by teams or by XXX companies. Some of these social nudges really make a big difference. Create escape hatches at every step. Options like save for later, skip for now, try without connecting, continue with basic setup, instead of forcing for a full setup when it's actually not required at that stage. The third one, this is a bit more harder, takes more time, but definitely has a much larger impact. Split your long forms into progressive profiling. I'll tell you what this actually means, right? Step 1, just ask for an email and password, something like WhatsApp. Step 2, after the first login, actually ask them for their name and the role. Step 3, after using your core feature, ask them for the next information that you're looking for. It might be team size. Step 4, after second login, ask them for their preferences. And finally, after they've actually used your app for 1 week, ask for detailed preferences. It's extremely important when you're doing this to add immediate value demonstrations between steps. I'll give you an example of this. After entering your email, great, you're 2 minutes away from your automated report generation. Or after I select my role, show me a personalized view that is to my role as a product marketing manager versus a product manager. After team size, perfect. Here's how teams of your size have actually used our features. And finally, if you're requesting for some kind of integration, please show a real-time preview of why this integration was important, a dashboard, or anything of that sort. The other thing that you can do is implement smart defaults based on user behavior. So if you notice the users from a tech company like me, please select developer-focused templates. Or most of us access the platform via mobile, default to mobile-first features. If a user has come in through a particular marketing campaign, please select the features that are related to that marketing campaign, right? Another extremely easy way to do this is based on the email domain. If you're a particular university.edu, default to student features, versus if I'm from a company, default to an enterprise feature. Or if it's a standard Gmail account, default to individual user features. I want to call out, while I say default, you should have separate user journey. I think this is done extremely well by Dream11, where if you are a new user, the navigation that you see on their app is extremely different from a power user. And I was really amazed to see that apps in India have actually started implementing this. So now, how do you actually go about implementing this? Here's your action plan. First, as I said, audit your current flow and identify the biggest drop-off point. Second, implement the first 24-hour fix, the small wins. Please set up measurement for impact and then roll out the remaining quick fixes. It's extremely important to continuously measure and adjust. So while I've been harping on the point of measuring, what is it, you must be wondering, that you're supposed to measure? These are the numbers that I believe are the success metrics you should track daily. First, the completion rate percentage by user segment, by platform device, by time of day, a week-over-week completion trend, and a comparison to industry benchmark. You cannot compare apples to oranges. Please compare to an app in the same industry. Second, the time to completion. What is the average completion time? What is the median completion time? And what is the 90th percentile completion time? Very often we look at average and ignore the outliers, and I don't think that's how it works well. Put a complete time distribution and also put the time spent per step. There is a huge difference sometimes between the platform specific completion times, and it kind of helps you focus on the fixes in the right place. Finally, in your mind, there is an optimal time versus an actual, so please map that out. Third, the drop-off. What are the top 3 drop-off locations? What is the impact of the drop-off rate changes, drop-off patterns by user segment, and impact of fixes on the drop-off rates. The last but not the least, the reason we have users. We want to retain them. So what is your day one retention? By user segment, by acquisition channel, and kind of find a way to correlate it with the completion time. So if you made an impact like an onboarding change, what has been that impact on your completion time? I also want to share some of my favorite good onboarding journey. For simple entries, there's WhatsApp, just phone number verification. Google Maps, it's immediately useful without any sign up. Uber, it's basic info first, and then there's a progressive collection of additional details. In the second category are the value first apps, right? There's Duolingo. It actually lets you start a lesson immediately before sign up. Another favorite of mine, Pinterest. It actually allows you to browse before requiring account. I used it so much for my house setup, my wedding preps. Third, Spotify. YouTube offers free listening before they actually push you to buy premium. The third set is ClearPath. Nothing like Instagram. Simple feed, clear posting mechanism. Remember, a perfect onboarding flow doesn't exist, but a working one definitely does. Start with these fixes today, measure the impact, and continuously iterate. I would love to hear how this has helped you. Please share your biggest onboarding fail in the comments below, and I'll feature the most insightful stories in an upcoming episode. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs it because good advice deserves good company. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts or question below. I love hearing from you. See you until next time. This is Diksha Anand from Behind the Feature signing off.